Welcome back for another deep dive. This time, we'll be exploring Roald Dahl's Danny, the Champion of the World.
Oh, this is a great choice.
It's a book that, on the surface, seems like a simple children's story, but underneath, it's a tale of resilience, resourcefulness, and the deep love between a father and son.
And all set against a backdrop of social inequality and rebellion.
Right, there's definitely more going on beneath the surface. So we'll be exploring the unique bond between Danny and his father, their unusual life at a filling station, and their interesting forays into poaching.
What I think is captivating about Danny is how Dahl grounds the story in a really relatable reality. Danny's life in a gypsy caravan behind a filling station immediately makes him different from your typical kids' book main character.
Yeah, for sure. It's not your average childhood setting.
Right, and this different upbringing shapes how he sees the world, and I think hints at his knack for thriving outside of society's norms.
It's interesting how Danny's early exposure to mechanics almost becomes like a secret language between him and his father. Their shared passion for engines really lays the groundwork for their close relationship.
It's not just about fixing cars, though, is it? It's more about having this shared understanding, a way of connecting with each other in a world that often overlooks them.
Yeah.
And, in this world, Danny's father isn't just a mechanic. He's also this gifted storyteller. He creates these magical stories about the big friendly giant for Danny every night.
Those BFG stories are incredibly vivid and imaginative.
Oh, yeah.
I remember them being so different from the, sometimes harsh reality of their lives at the filling station.
Exactly.
But they gave Danny this feeling of wonder and escape.
Right, exactly. And the BFG, with his world of dream catching and giant adventures, becomes this, symbol of hope for Danny, like a reminder that there's more to life than just the filling station and their social standing.
But then their world changes dramatically when Danny discovers his father has a secret.
Poaching.
Yes, poaching.
Yeah, and that revelation just adds a whole other layer to their relationship and the story's themes, really. The fact that Danny's father waited until he was old enough to be left alone at the caravan before telling him about poaching, that says a lot about his sense of responsibility, even when doing something illegal.
That's a really good point. It makes you think about morality and survival and how far someone would go to protect and provide for their family.
Exactly.
And the methods they use for poaching are so creative. The horsehair stopper and the sticky hat, they really show off how much Danny's father understands nature and animal behavior.
Yeah, those techniques are more than just clever tricks. They were passed down probably for generations, and I think they also show this resistance against the wealthy landowners who control access to resources.
It's a kind of a subtle commentary on social class.
Yeah, it is, and the differences between those who have and those who don't.
And speaking of those who have, there's Victor Hazell. He's the wealthy, arrogant landowner and basically the bad guy in this story. He's the establishment that Danny and his father are challenging through their poaching.
Victor Hazell, with his extravagant shooting parties and his important guests, he embodies that social hierarchy that Danny and his dad are excluded from.
Yeah.
Their poaching then becomes this act of rebellion, a way to take back some control and disrupt the established order.
Right. And the tension between Hazell and Danny and his father really escalates after something happens at school.
Oh, when Danny gets caned.
Right. He's caned by this really cruel teacher, Captain Lancaster, for just answering a question in class.
It's awful, and it shows how those in authority just casually inflict cruelty on those they see as lesser, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's a turning point. Danny's father, his first instinct is to just get violent revenge.
Understandably.
But he takes a different path, channeling his anger into a very daring plan, a plan that targets Hazell's big shooting party.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They're going to poach every single pheasant in Hazell's wood the night before the party by using sleeping pills hidden in raisins. This plan, it isn't just about getting back at Hazell. It's more like a calculated way to defy him, to attack his pride,
Yeah, and show how meaningless his social status really is.
Right.
And, the way they carry out this plan is like a classic heist movie. All that meticulous preparation, sneaking around at night. Yeah. It's thrilling and funny at the same time.
Oh, totally.
I can just picture Danny and his dad moving through the woods, planting those drugged raisins amongst all those unsuspecting pheasants.
And they bring in Doc Spencer, the local doctor.
Oh, right. He's in on it, too.
Oh, yeah, he's a poacher as well. Makes the whole operation even more interesting.
It shows how everyone who lives on the edges of society, they stick together and rely on each other.
Definitely. They have to be resourceful to survive.
But then their plan, well, doesn't go exactly to plan.
What, you mean when some of the pheasants overdose on the sleeping pills?
Yeah, that part. It could have ruined everything.
True. It shows that even the best laid plans can go wrong.
You need a little luck sometimes, too.
And a lot of ingenuity.
Well, they get lucky because Doc Spencer, he's quick on his feet.
Oh, yeah.
He manages to step in and discover the overdosed birds, so no one suspects anything.
Doc Spencer's really thinking on his feet there, and it shows how loyal he is to Danny and his dad. He's willing to put himself at risk to protect them.
It's amazing. And then there's that celebration back at the caravan.
Oh, yeah, with all that pheasant.
Doc Spencer, Sergeant Samways, and Mrs. Clipstone are all there enjoying the fruits of their labor, let's say.
It's a real moment of triumph. They outsmarted the establishment. It's not just a party. It's like a big screw you to the social norms that have always kept them down.
Yeah, it is. And it's in the middle of all this celebrating that Danny's dad calls him the champion of the world.
What a moment. It's not just about the poaching, It's like Danny's dad is acknowledging how independent he's become, passing the torch, so to speak.
Showing him how to navigate their world.
Exactly. It's a really beautiful moment between them. It shows how strong their bond is and how important it is to learn from those who came before you.
And even with a freezer full of pheasant, they're ready for their next adventure.
Tickling trout.
Right.
It's the perfect way to end the book. It shows that being a champion isn't about doing something big or having a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's about enjoying the simple things, feeling connected to nature, and not being afraid to do things differently.
Tickling trout. It seems like an odd choice to end a story about poaching and rebelling against the system. But it really fits the book's message.
Yeah, you can find magic and wonder anywhere if you just look for it.
Makes you think. What seemingly normal things in our lives could actually be really adventurous if we just knew how to look at them differently?
I know, right? Like Danny and his dad with the trout, Danny, the champion of the world, really makes you question what a champion even is.
Yeah, it's not always about winning or being the best.
It's more about how you face life's challenges and being true to yourself.
I think I need to read this book again. After this deep dive, I'm seeing so many things I missed before. All those layers Dahl put in there, it's brilliant.
You should. And for anyone who hasn't read Danny yet, you really need to check it out.
It's such a fun read.
We'll put a link in the show notes where you can buy a copy. And by doing that, you'll be supporting the show too.
And make sure you subscribe to The Deep Dive for more of these explorations into fascinating topics.
We have some great stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah, we do. And if you loved this episode about Danny, tell a friend about it. Spread the word.
Exactly.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.